Hey everyone, Nick and Joe here for Nick Drinks. Today we're going to talk Mezcal.
Nick Drinks.
This week is Mezcal week, as dictated by the Mezcalista.
Yeah, it's an Instagram account and blog. They talk about Mezcal news and tastings.
So we have a selection of Mezcals that are available in Michigan. There's about 22 of them. We have a couple that we got from other places, probably Binny's in Chicago. And then we actually got one from Mexico, Mexico that you brought me.
These aren't from Binny's. These are from the liquor warehouse.
Liquor warehouse.
Yeah,
this is probably from Binny's then.
Yeah, pretty amazing place.
Yeah, you can see this bottle one's halfway gone almost.
Wow.
Yeah, but so the book that I really like about Mezcal is actually from Emma Jansen. She's gonna correct me on it. Hold it higher. Jansen. And this is great. This is like the Bible on Mezcal. It came out early this year, late last year, and it talks all about Mezcal and all the different categories and types and things like that.
Is Mezcal something that is hitting its stride now? Is it just now becoming popular?
I think it's the beginning. Kind of the way I look at it is kind of how Scotch was maybe 10, 20 years ago.
Okay.
Where, there were a lot of big peaty Scotches, and, people I think know Mezcal as this big smoky monster. So there actually is a variety of them now, so you can kind of get into them like the Highland Scotches and things like that. They aren't that big Lafroid kind of sock monster.
Where does the smoke come from in a Mezcal?
So they actually smoke the agave, the piña.
Okay.
So when they chop it up, they smoke it for anywhere from a couple hours to up to a few days, and that gets that big smoky flavor in it.
All right.
But if we kind of look at Mezcals, when you go to Mexico, it's kind of like whiskey. Anything you make from agave is a Mezcal. That includes tequila. Tequila is actually a Mezcal. But it's not the other way around. Mezcals are not tequila. This is the broad group.
They're in Mexico, I noticed, and also when I was in New York recently, there's mezcalerias.
Yeah.
So it's places that just focus on mezcal as the spirit and with cocktails. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes they pair it with food. And one of the most popular things I noticed, you pair mezcal with their insects.
Yeah. So when I was at Tales of the Cocktail, we actually talked to the guys at Montelobos. And they brought 2 different samples of some of the ground up worm accompaniments that you can have. You can dip an orange in there, you can eat it with there. But when you talk about the worm, or technically larva, in Mezcal, that is really only, it's a tourist thing. We have one actually that is in Michigan that does have the worm, but it's kind of the bottom basement one. It's this thing just to kind of generate hype.
It's a novelty.
Yep. Yeah. So, but the worms are actually eaten as a condiment. So you can kind of take a little pinch, you can put it on the rim of the glass, you can put it on an orange, that's the way you do it.
And even as ones like, what was it, crickets that were seasoned, and you can snack on those like a potato chip or whatever.
All right, so let's, you want to sample some of these?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so I would say some of the baseline one, I really like Montelobos. Now granted, they're super nice guys, and they were really hospitable to me when I was in Tales of the Cocktail.
Okay.
And let's sample some of them. They're kind of a nice intro. When you drink Mezcal, you can really drink it out of any glass. We provided a couple different examples. Just a normal rocks glass is fine. We have copas here, which are kind of a traditional clay, and then actually votive holders. So because Mexico... Candle, yeah.
All right.
Because Mexico is very religious, they would often have these votive holders hanging around, and they would drink out of them. So typically it's a fluted one, so you can actually buy them for Mezcal. So why don't we go super traditional here? A little for you. Oh, wow. Give you a little more. There we go. All right.
All right.
Cheers, sir.
Cheers.
So you don't get tons of smoke on this one, but you definitely get this great earthy agave smell. Where Mezcal kind of differs from tequila is that it's much more artisanal. There's so much variety because you can use up to 30 different kinds of agave plants, whereas tequila is only the Weber Blue agave.
Interesting. So there, on a lot of these labels, this is Mezcal Joven.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
So that's a young, that's unaged. So it is typical for a Mezcal to be unaged. They do have aged ones. The one you brought me from Mexico actually does have some age on it.
And when some age versus, is it at any point age, like could it be a year, could it be 10 years? Is there any demarcation in terms of aging?
I believe it's similar to tequila. I'm not totally right on that, because if you look at tequila, we have an añejo here, and I believe this guy is also an añejo. Oh, he's a reposado, so he's a little bit younger. There's a number of different ways to distill mezcal, either a traditional kind of copper pot, or actually they have clay, which is very old school. This is called barro, and the clay still will actually be, it's almost disposable. You get 1 or 2 uses in it, and they have to rebuild the still. So this is super yummy because there's lots of earthiness and fun, and it goes to show the skill of the distiller making this product.
With these, and just knowing the prices of them, one was around 85, one was around 65.
This one's more expensive because of the clay.
Because of the clay.
Yeah.
And so this price point for a bottle is not normal, though. This is.
I think it is. I think probably 60 is really kind of right around that sweet spot.
Okay.
Largely because this is a higher proof too. So you're going to notice a lot of these are in the neighborhood of 50. So that is 10% more than your typical spirit that we have kind of in the U.S. Even Montelobos, which is 43. So these are all going to be higher proof, but you don't necessarily get that fire. So this is 43. I don't necessarily taste this huge fire.
Yeah.
But I actually want to try this one, and we're going to put the barro in the clay pot. The cupa. Grab some of that.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. So a little more smoke, but definitely earthiness, depth, the soil.
A lot smoother.
Yeah, the terroir.
Yep. Yep.
And being, 50%, it's hotter, but it's not like, burning your face off. It's definitely balanced.
It's just a little sweeter, I thought, but yeah, very good. So 2 James has a mezcal.
Yeah, 2 James does. And so what's cool is we have a local mezcal producer, which you can't call mezcal unless it's produced in Mexico, but you can import it. So 2 James actually went down there, picked out this mezcal, took a huge chance on it because no one else in Detroit was doing something like this. So I give 2 James huge credit for doing that. And when they launched it, they had these little cupas that they made.
Also, I don't know if 2 James still has that's available, but when they did release this, they had insects as a snack.
Yep, and oranges.
And oranges, yep.
Yeah. You want to talk about some of the, you were actually doing some research about Pachuca?
Pachuca, yeah.
Pachuca.
So there is a bottle of Pachuca that these guys put out. However, from what I understand, Pachuca just means that it was distilled with meat. So in the book, they mention one with deer and turkey. The one that's available, I don't know if it's available in Michigan.
I don't think so.
But I don't think it's any meat actually touches it. Not positive about that. But chicken, deer, turkey, beef, lamb, whatever. And I'm not sure how it affects the flavor, but it's more of a celebratory spirit because of, I would think, using the whole animal.
Probably cost. My guess is that it's a higher cost.
Yep.
Certainly there's that smokiness that comes from meat, so that's probably kind of building on that layers of flavor to make it some more depth. The other thing is when you go to Mexico, there are so many small little distilleries. There's people that are doing it at their houses. So the depth and variety of this stuff when you go to Mexico is insane. Whereas, again, Michigan, 22 varieties, and, maybe a couple hundred are available in the US, but there's thousands when you get to Mexico.
If you'd like to learn more about Mezcal, check out mezcalistas.com. Mezcal Week runs from November 5th through November 12th. There are bars across the entire nation participating in Mezcal Week. You can participate in Mezcal Week here by going to your local liquor store, buying a bottle, trying it out, mixing it. Go to nickdrinks.com for some cocktail ideas, possibly?
Possibly.
Yeah, why not?
Locally, why don't you go check out 2 James? 2 James has a great product. Or again, you can go check out your favorite liquor store and buy any of these in Michigan or any of these if you live someplace with a better selection. Thanks so much for watching our video on Mezcal. You can find more at nickdrinks.com and follow me on Instagram at nbritsky, B-R-I-T-S-K-Y, for more great photos and tips and tricks. Until next time, cheers.
Nick Drinks.